time to talk about WrestleMania 26. We are getting so close, my friends, to the end of this series. Oh, I can't wait to have a life again. Okay, but anyway, let's talk about this show. WrestleMania 26 is a good show. Overall, it's a pretty good show. I mean, your three main events here deliver, and that's basically all that matters in the end, really, because you book your WrestleManias, everybody wants to see the main events, so when the main events deliver, it automatically makes it that the show delivers. But the problem with this WrestleMania is the problem with all these recent WrestleManias in this day and age. It takes like 2 to 2.5 hours to get to the good shit because your undercard is just so fucking broken and horrible. Everything before your main events is just average, mediocre, or just plain downright bad. And that's just how it is in this day and age. It's a bunch of short, meaningless matches that after 2 minutes of seeing it, you don't even fucking remember what happened. And that's just the WWE not knowing how to make a strong mid-card anymore, not knowing how to create new talent. They just rely on their main events. But when your main event guys leave, a couple years from now, where the fuck are you gonna be? They're gonna be dead. I mean, what else are they gonna do? They're not gonna know what to do because they don't know how to create new stars. So that's the problem with this WrestleMania, is it takes a while to get to the really good shit. But the really good shit delivers, so I'll say the show delivers to a pretty good show. Alright, let me just say this before I get into the WrestleMania show. The commentary team for this WrestleMania is the worst motherfucking WrestleMania commentary team in history. You have PG Colin King and Matt fucking Stryker. This guy fucking sucks as a commentator. Every time it's supposed to be like an intense, epic moment, all his fucking voice, like shut the fuck up. His fucking voice just pierces your ears. It's so like whiny and high pitched. Everything he says is, he tries to make it like this inspirational, prophetic type quote. It's like, shut the fuck up. How about that? Do not like this guy as a commentator. Okay, let me go into the show itself. Your opening match was Sheamus versus John Morrison and R-Truth for the Unified Tag Team Championship. This was a shitty ass opener. It went for like 3.5 fucking minutes. I mean, it started out like okay. It looked like it could be a good match, but this was so fucking short. How do you open a show with this? I mean, you can't even enjoy it. It's not like it was just a travesty, a horrible train wreck of a match, but it just got no fucking time that you can't really talk about it. The Big Show knocks out John Morrison with the WMD, whatever the fuck you want to call it, KO punch, and pins him 1, 2, 3. Sheamus retained the championship. Way too fucking short, so shitty ass opener. Then you got your triple threat match, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase. And this was just a match that was just there. This probably should have been better because this actually had a pretty good storyline going behind it with the breakup of Legacy and the long-awaited Randy Orton face turn that the crowd really wanted. But this match was just, it was just like, I didn't care for it. It was nothing. It was just Randy Orton burying the fucking shit out of Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase here. He punts one of them in the head, RKOs, the other gets the pin. So Randy Orton wins this match, completes his face turn. But this was just, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. Then you got your Money in the Bank ladder match. And, somebody in the WWE had the great fucking idea to make the Money in the Bank match now have 10 participants. Like 8 wasn't enough. You had Jack Swagger, Christian, Matt Hardy, Kane, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, and Evan Bourne. Holy fucking shit! How many fucking people in this match? It's still a good Money in the Bank match. You can't really fail with these matches. But out of all the WrestleMania Money in the Bank matches, this was the least good one. This was the least extreme. It had the least amount of spots. I mean, you had so many people in here. You had Shelton Benjamin, and usually your MVP. He didn't do fucking jack shit in this match. He didn't do fucking nothing. Drew McIntyre didn't do jack shit. Who else? Matt Hardy didn't really fucking do anything. Jack Swagger didn't do anything but win the match. You had just a bunch of filler guys here that just laid down outside the ring for most of the match. But this was still good. It was still a good Money in the Bank match, but your least greatest one in your WrestleMania Money in the Bank matches. Jack Swagger gets the victory. Fucking Jack Swagger. I fucking hated Jack Swagger back then. I still don't like him now, but I couldn't fucking stand this motherfucker back then. Fucking retarded with his fucking big mouth all the time opening. Alright, what the fuck is that shit, you know? Alright, then you get Triple H versus Sheamus. This was an average match. It was like okay to good at points, but I mean, does anybody like remember this match like for its greatness? No. Triple H wins with the pedigree. Obviously, Sheamus should have won here. What the fuck does Triple H have to win every fucking WrestleMania match? Is beyond me. But yeah, it was just like, it was better than the triple threat match, I believe, with Randy Orton, but it was like slightly better. It's like decent match. Then you get Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. If the stipulation, if Punk wins, Mysterio would join the Straight Edge Society. And you know, I liked the Straight Edge Society. I thought it did like some good angles, but it was just fucking retarded also, you know, as somebody like myself who is straight edge, for them to vilify the act of being straight edge, it was just like retarded. They were trying to make straight edge people look like some Charles Manson type cult. Like, it was evil to be straight edge, and everybody that is straight edge thinks that they're better than everybody else. So that's one of the things I did not like from the Straight Edge Society, the way they vilify people who choose not to drink or smoke. That doesn't make sense with the WWE campaign of being all squeaky clean. But yeah, this match could have been like a fucking, not a show stealer because you have Undertaker versus Michaels, but this could have been your, you know, sleeper match of the night. But it was just so short. It was good while it lasted. It was probably, besides the Money in the Bank match, the best undercard match, but it was just so fucking short. It was exciting though while it went. Rey Mysterio gets the win with the 619 and all that bullshit, I believe. I would have definitely liked to see Punk win so Mysterio could join the Straight Edge Society and see what happens there, but what are you gonna fucking do? So this was a good match, but way too short. Then you got your fucking train wreck. This was a motherfucking dud. Bret Hart versus Mr. McMahon, no holds barred lumberjack match. And you know, I know people like to view this as like an NA or a segment rather than a match, but I don't fucking care. This went on way too fucking long, and it was called a no holds barred match, so I'm gonna rip this motherfucker apart. This was one of the worst matches I've ever come across in my life. First of all, this match just should not have happened. Yeah, it sounds cool, it sounds exciting when you hear Bret Hart versus Mr. McMahon at WrestleMania 26, but when you just hold on a second and think about it, I mean, WWE knew that Bret Hart couldn't take any bumps, that he couldn't actually put on a fucking match, so why did they do this? It just was like, what the fuck is wrong? Why would you book this match? You could have had Bret Hart in another type of role here, just have him be GM from the second he returns. Have, like, you know, Bret Hart choose somebody and Vince McMahon choose somebody and have them wrestle the way it was Donald Trump versus Vince McMahon. The fact that they tried to get a match out of Bret Hart, it just ruined, like, Bret Hart's, you know, last match. It wasn't even his last match. I can't believe they put the fucking U.S. title on Bret Hart a couple months later. Like, people want to talk about The Rock being handed the title. What the fuck was Bret Hart, a guy who can't even wrestle, who would fucking die in the ring if he wrestles, being handed the United States title? And look, don't come and bash me that I'm, you know, bashing Bret Hart. I'm not bashing Bret Hart at all, because it's not the guy's fault that he had a stroke and he can't wrestle. I'm bashing the WWE's decision to use him as a wrestler in this environment. It just didn't make sense. First of all, this match was so fucking retarded from the start. Vince McMahon has this stipulation where he pays off the Hart family to be lumberjacks in Vince McMahon's corner. Like, how fucking retarded are you that you're gonna think that Bret Hart's family is against Bret Hart? Like, it wouldn't make more sense if Vince McMahon brought people that that actually hated Bret Hart, like fucking like Triple H or, you know, Shawn Michaels or some shit, even though they wouldn't do that, or the McMahon family. Why the fuck would Vince McMahon hire Bret Hart's family to go against Bret Hart. How retarded was that shit? Anybody who's over 2 years old was like, what the fuck is going on? This is WWE's mentality these days. They do not, like, understand logic. And then, like, fucking the big shock. Bret Hart's family turns on Mr. McMahon and sides with Bret Hart. Holy shit, what a swerve. I didn't expect that one. And this match was shit. You know, you had the Bret Hart's family doing most of the offense, like Tyson Kidd and the fucking other guy, what the fuck is his name, doing most of the offense. Bret Hart's hitting Mr. McMahon with a chair like 30 fucking times. He's hitting him with a lead pipe like 30 fucking times. You could have did this shit in 4 minutes, have him hit him in the head with a chair, hit him like in the back with a chair because he can't do the head. Like a couple times, do the sharpshooter, bing, bang, boom, you're done. But they dragged the shit on for so long. Bret Hart wins. Nobody else wins. This fucking was horrible. And to think of the storyline that went into this match is such a bad fucking payoff. Alright, then you got Chris Jericho versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this was your first really good match of the night. Yeah, this was really good. A lot of exciting stuff from both guys, like what you'd expect from Chris Jericho versus Edge. You could have gotten a better of a match, but I'm not going to complain because this was a really good match. Chris Jericho gets the win with a code breaker. I think he hits Edge with the title while the referee's not looking. Then he does the code breaker, gets the pin, retains the championship. I think Edge should have won this match. For some reason, WWE has this rule that if they could only have one major title switch hands at WrestleMania for some reason. Usually this is the rule they go by at every WrestleMania, so they had to have Chris Jericho retain. You had the post-match segment, which was cool, with Edge running across the announce tables to spear Chris Jericho into the barricade, and it broke. That was pretty cool. So really good match. I think it's a great match. Not like 5 stars or anything like that, but a great match. Your first great match of the night. Chris Jericho retains. Then you get your 10 Diva tag team fucking shitty ass match. Oh my god, this match was fucking horrible. The Divas all decided to just scream throughout the whole duration of this match. The whole fucking match, all you hear is non-fucking stop. What the fuck are they screaming about? Jesus Christ, imagine the fucking horrific nightmare it must be when these girls are in bed screaming like it's a fucking exorcism or some shit going on. But Vicky Guerrero does... The best part of this match was Vicky Guerrero doing the frog splash and Michael Cole calling it the hog splash. That was the best part of this match. Vicky Guerrero botches the pin somehow, but she eventually gets the pin on some fucking blonde-haired diva, I think. Gets the victory, whoop-de-fucking-do. Then you get John Cena versus Batista for the WWE Championship. And this fucking... Ironically, Batista's last run was his best fucking run with the company. His heel shit in 2010 was fucking class A. It was fucking awesome. It was grade A awesomeness. The promo where Batista was talking about John Cena kissing babies and hugging fat girls. Fucking awesome promo. A fucking pipe bomb before CM Punk's pipe bomb. Batista was pipe bombing all fucking night. Talking about how, you know, John Cena's on the covers of magazines doing this, doing that. The little fucking nice squeaky clean poster boy when Batista's the real fucking badass. And John Cena's like trying to maintain this fucking Boy Scout image. He's like criticizing Dave Batista because he shows up late to work. And John Cena's like, I'm the first one to get there and the last one to leave. Oh yeah, I'm so fucking impressed with you. You know, I just hate these motherfucking storylines. Every John Cena storyline has to be this storyline to just boost John Cena. Like, how much could you boost this motherfucker? Can't you just have, like, a back and forth, like, stable storyline with both guys seeming good? But everybody just has to push John Cena to the fucking moon and back. I hate this shit. This was a really good match, though. Definitely one of Cena's better matches. He actually tried to pull out a good wrestling match here, and he did, in my opinion. I remember watching this at the time. I was very invested in this match. I was fucking begging for Batista to kick John Cena's ass. Of course, John Cena wins, but you had a lot of good counters in this match from both guys. I think it could have went on longer and been really, really good, but this was still a great match. John Cena wins with the STF. This motherfucker has to make everybody tap at WrestleMania. I mean, what is wrong with this man's ego? You know, I just hate everything about this guy with a fucking passion so much. And you know, this whole thing just, it spawned like 3 matches with Batista, and he had to bury this motherfucker 3 matches in a row. Batista couldn't get 1 fucking victory. He had that horrible ass shit with the duct tape in the last man standing match. Like, why does this man have to bury people? Like, why can't, like, people get victories on him once in a while? The only person that's allowed to get a victory is if you're named Dwayne Johnson. Besides that, you're not allowed to beat Cena. Like, this motherfucker, everybody just needs to get, like, buried because of him. He puts them fucking 12 feet under with the shovel, fucking gets a bulldozer, drops some more fucking dirt on their grave. It's just ridiculous. What's so great about this guy that nobody is allowed to get one over him? And it just made me sick the way he just beat Batista 3 times in a row. I hate this guy so fucking much. John Cena wins. A really good match though. Great match. Very fun. Then you get your match of the night. Your real main event. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Streak versus career match. The main event, where the first match at WrestleMania 25 belonged, in the main event. Thank God they got it right this time. Man, the story to this match was fucking fantastic with the streak versus career. I would say that out of the 2 matches, this is the more emotional, the more dramatic match just because of the streak versus career stipulation. I don't think this is as good as the first match. This is still a fantastic match, don't get me wrong, but it's like the first time is always the most fun usually, and it was just, this match was just a little more sloppier in the ring. It was a little less of a perfect wrestling match as the first one was. You had some botches here and there. The Undertaker botched a last ride. There was some times where they kind of looked like they got mixed up. But I'm not going to talk about the negatives of this match because the positives far outweigh this. This might have been a step down from the first WrestleMania match, but how could you overdo the greatest match of all time? It can't be done. But this is still a fantastic match. Great spots. One of the things that did hurt this match was the crowd was so fucking lame for most of this match. The crowd at the first match was so much better. This crowd was very dead for some reason. You had your epic spot with Shawn Michaels doing the moonsault off of the fucking turnbuckle onto the announce table. It's kind of like a botch because he just lands on Undertaker's knees, but it does make sense with the storyline in the match itself because if you remember, Shawn Michaels was working on Undertaker's legs, so it kind of did make sense that he did the moonsault just on Undertaker's legs. But you know, these guys, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, I mean, you just cannot get a better story out of Undertaker matches than these matches with Shawn Michaels. These guys tell the greatest fucking stories. It's not just a match with 2 guys. It's so much more than that. It's like you're watching a Hollywood, like, Oscar-winning story when you're watching these matches. You're seeing what a wrestling match could be further than, you know, the surface of just technical wrestling skills. You see the real storytelling and the great chemistry with these guys. Of course, you have your false finishes, and then you have your amazing ending. Shawn Michaels just kicks out of the tombstone. Undertaker's about to do and then he stops. He shows sympathy for Michaels, and he tells Michaels to stay down. Michaels is crawling up Undertaker's body, and he goes, "Ugh," and smacks Undertaker in the face. You know, Shawn Michaels goes out the way he came in, you know, an arrogant, juvenile, dickhead, rebel son of a bitch, and he goes out that way. Undertaker gets him in the tombstone, jumps like 10 feet in the fucking air, tombstones Michaels, pins him, 1, 2, 3, and then Shawn Michaels is retired. No, I want to believe it, no, oh god. But yeah, I mean, this was just a fantastic ending, and it's just, I remember watching this, and just, I was speechless, you know, it was like some part of my childhood died, you know, Shawn Michaels, the guy that got me into wrestling in the first place, the guy that I grew up with, the guy that I based, you know, my individuality as a kid off of, you know, the showboating aspect, the arrogant aspect, the cocky aspect, boy toy, flashy, trying to flirt with the girls. I just based a lot of my character as a kid off of Shawn Michaels, and seeing his career come to an end was like a piece of my childhood dying. Very sad. This was definitely usually at the end of WrestleMania is this victorious, triumphant final image, but this is definitely the saddest image of WrestleMania, the end of WrestleMania. Very bittersweet. And you know, I mean, as horrible as it was that Shawn Michaels left, the utmost respect for him for actually leaving before he became some broken down, washed up old wrestler just trying to get some little measly pops every now and then, like, you know, people like Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair still. Kudos to Shawn Michaels for that, for leaving with dignity, leaving with his reputation intact, and worrying about his character, keeping the preservation of his character. Because in this last year, you could tell he was slowing down a bit. He was starting to lose his step, and he decided, you know what, it's time to go out. And he went out like a fucking champ in one of the, you know, a fantastic 5-star, one of the greatest matches of all time. So, you know, there you go. I still miss Shawn Michaels. When we lost Shawn Michaels at WrestleManias, we lost a surefire 5-star classic every year at WrestleMania. Now we're not assured of having that 5-star classic match now that Shawn Michaels is gone. So, the greatest of all time. Thank you for everything. So yeah, I'm going to give this show a 7.75 out of 10. A pretty good show. That's a pretty good grade. This isn't a great show. This isn't like a really, really, really good show, but it is a good show because your 3 main events deliver, and one is just emotional and just roller coaster of a ride in the Streak vs. Career match. But John Cena vs. Batista is really, really good, and so is Chris Jericho vs. Edge. The main problem with this, of course, is the undercard. But it's not like there's any real shit on this except for the Divas and the Bret Hart match. The stuff is just really short, but it's like mediocre, you know? So it's 7.75, and a good show. That's my rating, and I'm sticking to it. Alright, hope you enjoyed the review. Getting so close, people. Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.